Welcome back, sixth grade. Today we're going to continue working with measures of center like we did yesterday. We're going to work on page 455 in your book. So if you want to go ahead and get that ready, we will start those problems together. So just as a reminder, today we're going to really focus on mean and median. Mean is when you have a group of data values and you add them all up, which is the top here. It's the sum of all the data values, and then we're dividing by the number of data values. And then median is when you arrange the data from least to greatest. It is the value that falls directly in the middle. All right, so on page 455, let's look at number 1. It says several students in Ashton's class were randomly selected and asked how many text messages they sent yesterday. And their answers were 1, 0, 10, 7, 13, 2, 9, 15, 0, and 3. So that's our data set, okay? How many students were asked? How do you know? Well, obviously there were however many responses there are. Each person gave one response. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 data values. That means 10 people responded to the question, 10 students. And the reason we know that is that there are 10 pieces of data. Oops, I just erased everything I wrote. 10 pieces of data, okay? Now it asks question 6 to find the median, the mean, and the median. Okay, so let's think. The first thing you should always do, because it just makes it simpler, is to list the data in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to do that here. You might need to do that on a different piece of paper, but I see we have a 0 and we have a 1. Wow, I'm having trouble with it. 0 and 1, 0 and 1. Oh, we have another 0, so I'm going to put it there. There's a 2, 3, and that looks like 7, 9, 10, 13, and 15. I believe that will get all of them. We can just double check. I should have 10, and that's what I would do, is count them to make sure I got them all. 10. Okay, so they are listed in order from least to greatest. Now, we want to find the mean. The mean is going to be the sum of all of these numbers divided by what? The number of numbers, which happens to be 10. Now, in this case, we also have 2 people that said 0, but they still count. Those are still data values. So if you want to use a calculator, you can. I'm going to start at the back. 15, 13, 10, 9, 7, 3, 2, and 1. I got a sum of 60, which 60 divided by 10 would give us 6. That would be the mean. Now the median is when we want to get to the middlemost value. Now, yesterday we talked about when you have odd number of values versus when you have an even number of values. Well, in this case, we have an even number of values. So what does that tell you? Well, let's do it and find out, okay? So I'm going to go first and last, and I'm going to work my way in. Next in, next in, next, 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 next. So 3 and 7 are the middle values. Now, because there are 2 middle values, we have to find the average of those 2. And the way you do that is 7 plus 3 is 10. We have 2 values divided by 2 is 5. 5 would be halfway between 3 and 7. And so it is the middle value in this case. Okay, so now the next question says the points used by a basketball team, scored by a basketball team in its first 6 games are shown. That would be right here. And we're going to use that data for number 7 and number 8. So first thing, find the mean score and the median score. So again, first thing, put them in order from least to greatest. So I will do that over here. 37, then 73, 77, 84, 85, and 115. I think we got them all. So there are 2, 4, 6 pieces of data that we're going to use. Now I'm going to use a calculator, and you should do this too. Add them up. My total is 471, and we want to divide that by 6 now. And I got 78 and 5/10. Hopefully that's what you got too. And now we want to find the middle, the median point. And again, this is an even number of data values. That means we're going to end up with 2 in the middle, and then we're going to need to find the average of those 2. So start beginning. 37 and 115 is on the outside, and then we go in 1, and we have 2 left, right? 77 and 84. So really the average is halfway between 77 and 84. One way you could do this is you could think to yourself, well, how far is it from 77 to 84? Well, you would have to add 7 to that, right? And half of 7 is 3.5. So if you add 3.5 to 77, that would give you 80 and 5/10. But if you put it in a calculator, that's the same thing you will get. 77 plus 84 is 161, divided by 2 is 80 and 5/10. So the question is, which measurement best describes the typical number of points scored? So let's look at the data itself and see which one we feel better about. I mean, that's the data. Is it really 78.5 versus 80.5? They're really very close, right? There's not a big difference here. So I would actually say that either one would work in this case. Either one represents the data pretty well. Okay, so we've done 2 of the problems. I would like you to finish page 455 and 456 today. I will post the answer key so that you can check yourself when you are done. Okay, see you later.